Pride is the root of temptation failure, because in verse 12 he says, so if you think you're standing firm, be careful that you don't fall. If you think you're standing firm, be careful. Sometimes people think to themselves, and it's usually in relation to judging someone else, I would never do that. That's what they think. People go around thinking that kind of thing. Look at that person. I would never do that. I could never do that. And let me just suggest to you that the moment you start saying in judgment towards someone else, I could never do that. Look at them. I would never do that. You've just now made yourself vulnerable to a similar temptation. Pride is the root of temptation failure. So we should have the disposition, you know the old saying, there but for the grace of God go I. Right? Except for God's grace, I could be just like that person. Except for God's help, I could be just like, and I could do just like that person could do. You say, well, I could never imagine myself doing that kind of thing with that person. Nevertheless, you need to have this disposition, there but for the grace of God go I. And thankfully for His grace is the only reason why I wouldn't necessarily fall the same way that person has, but I don't judge them because I know I'm flesh and I'm just as weak and vulnerable as the next person. We need to have that attitude of humility